oh, hey, Ariel Helwani, guess what? Yeah, belts are cool, legacy, blah, 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 but I'll fight in whatever weight class I want. I don't have a belt and I don't sell. So why would a high-end prize fighter, a guy with something on the line who can make weight and operate within a space that allows him the best opportunities, fight Devin Haney right now? Typically, I don't like coming on this strong pause, but my man Devin Haney has definitely lost the plot. In this video, we go over recent statements, massive inconsistencies, and why, Devin, we just don't believe you. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Let's get into the content. So, I actually did a video yesterday and didn't drop it, but I think that's probably for good reason because now I have way more information. Now, in this video, what I want to cover is Devin Haney in his recent interview that he did with Ariel Helwani. Shout out to Ariel Helwani. And some of the statements that he made and kind of where I see him moving towards and some of the decisions that he's made. Two key things I want to focus in on. Devin Haney said that he wants to get it back in blood against Ryan Garcia, and he wants to get it back through litigation. Interesting combo. Additionally, another thing that I will cover in this video is the idea that Devin Haney has the thought that he could actually operate within the space of boxing outside of weight classes with little to no leverage. And so let's start off with this first one. So Devin Haney, we don't believe you. You definitely need more people, and this is why. You are very inconsistent with your messaging. What do I mean by that? If you're watching this video right now, follow closely to what I'm saying. Ryan Garcia popped dirty for Ostarine and potentially Nandrolone. The Nandrolone came back clean. Ostarine was still on the table. You had a total of, I think, 4 samples. And then ultimately where you wound up at was Ryan Garcia agreeing to a 1-year suspension for the purposes of non-disclosure of 2 supplements to the New York State Athletic Commission, which violated their rules and agreements. Not the Ostarine or whatever the case may be, but the official ruling was non-disclosure. I'll get into that more. Devin Haney has decided that, a year suspension, that's not enough. And not only is it not enough, but I'm also going to dump my belt, the WBC belt, and I'm going to take some time off. Now, I want to say this up front. As an individual who has operated and competed in the combat sports world, who's taken losses before and understands the potentially fragile nature of some fighters, especially in the boxing space. UFC, kickboxing, Muay Thai, it's a different deal. You can take a loss and people are not really sweating you. You've climbed a mountaintop and you've trained to a level where, you're just wildly respected, especially locally from that perspective. Anyway, Devin Haney taking time off is not an issue for me. Here's where I run into a problem with Devin Haney and the inconsistencies. You lost the bout to Ryan Garcia when that outcome was still official. You go on to ESPN the day or a couple days after he tests dirty and you say, I'm not really interested in fighting this individual. We saw his character, who he was. He was willing to do anything to, ensure victory for himself, which is why I dropped a video the day before this fight happened and said, should Devin Haney go through with this bout? But I digress. On Ariel Helwani's show, you say you're going to get it back in blood. So which is it? Are you not interested in fighting him? Or are you going to get it back in blood? So that's the first inconsistency that I wanted to cover. Here's the second. Devin Haney's legal team filed paperwork and stated that they didn't want to just get a no contest or, get the O removed from Devin's resume. They wanted to be a disqualification and have a victory added to Devin's resume. His team submitted these documents. There's actually 2 separate filings made requesting that Devin Haney be awarded a win based on the fact that Ryan Garcia cheated with the weight, which they agreed to, so we don't got to talk about that, and then testing dirty for the Ostarine. Okay, cool. We won't argue that perspective. The ruling comes out for the commission, New York State Athletic Commission. They say, hey, Ryan Garcia and the group, we made a decision. We came to an agreement that states that because he failed to disclose 2 supplements that he was taking, consuming before the bout, he's suspended for a year, $10,000 fine, give your purse back to Golden Boy, a little over $1 million. But the suspension time is a year. Devin Haney then comes out and says, hey, look, listen, I'm really glad that it went this way. Yeah, I am. I'm happy because I didn't want to see a DQ because I would not want to receive a win in that manner. So what is it? Your legal team goes and says, hey, we want to get this victory, or the ruling comes out. It's not 2-year ban. It's a slap on the wrist. It's really like 8 to 10 months, and it's a no contest. And then you put out a tweet and you say, hey, I'm really happy that it went this way. I wouldn't want to receive a win that way. Well, then why do you file paperwork? Or your team? And you're the fighter, Devin. At the end of the day, you're the fighter. So if this is how you felt, that should have been communicated to your team and your dad or whoever is touching base with the legal side. And you say, hey, let's see if we can get to no contest. I definitely don't want to go out this way, whatever the case may be. But I'm not looking for a W off of a technicality. Inconsistent in the approach. The final inconsistency and the combo wombo for me. In the interview today with Ariel Helwani, one of the things that Devin stated was, when I come back and fight, I'm not doing weight classes. Ariel Helwani asked a really great question, and you can check this out on Twitter. He said, okay, so no weight classes, got you. What about belts? Now, Devin's position is, I'm not one that I'm really mad at. I've already got all the belts. I've been undisputed before at one point, fought and defended overseas. I've done these things I've achieved in a sport of boxing from a belt gathering perspective. And that's what etches your name in stone and in legend within the lore of boxing. I don't offer an argument there. But what I would say is this: Devin is 25, 26. He was super close to breaking into superstardom. Him and his team made some crazy decisions and presented themselves in ways that I wouldn't consider super favorable. And so they kind of derailed their own train. In my opinion, Devin's best course of action would be to fight Sandor Martin. You gotta cook him. Dangerous fight, mandatory. I get it, coming off a loss. But what you should have done is cooked him. Whether it's like a 4th round knockout, I know you don't punch like that, or it's a masterclass boxing session, like where the defense is on point, you're getting on angles, you're firing the jab with variety, you're risking a little bit with the right hand to try to close distance, land something heavy, and you have a good showing against Sandor Martin. But you just decided not to do that. You dumped the belt and said, hey, I'm not mentally, physically, and emotionally fit to defend my 140-pound crown with the WBC. Cool, got it. No argument there. But this is a critical error that you, Devin Haney, made. You're now saying, I'm not a champion. Cool. I'm a champion recess. The belt goes to Puello. He's going to fight whoever, and they're going to fight whoever after that, right? But then you're also saying, bump weight classes. But you don't have leverage. What is the advantage I get fighting a Devin Haney at a catch weight for no belt and a minimal purse? We know that the Devin Haney Sandor Martin bout just went to purse bid, right? $2.4 million. 1.5, 1.6 goes to Devin. But he's been cashing big checks. Can't be mad at that. But now there's zero incentive. And this is why you're pining and saying, I want the Ryan Garcia fight, after saying, oh no, I don't want that fight. You said that. No one's making this up. You can't say shit about what I'm saying because Devin has gone back and forth, right? I'm not interested. ESPN straight up. I'm not interested in fighting Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia. Now your suspension, you'll take some time off, even though you don't have to, and say, okay, cool, I want to fight a Ryan Garcia because that's going to be a big check. It is, in my humble opinion, they can say mentally, physically, emotionally not fit for combat to defend the 140-pound crown, but I think it was a money decision. And I think that Devin Haney's operating in a space of delusion because at the end of the day, you're moving away from weight classes, so belts won't be on the line, and you are not a draw. There's no incentive to fight a Devin Haney without a belt, and he can't do numbers selling the fight. So you're on network television. Any fighter, 135, 140, 147, has to understand if you fight Devin Haney and you're not a big name already for yourself, that check is small, and he's not a champion, so there's no belt on the line, and he's decent enough where he can beat you if he's in a mentally safe space. If he can recover mentally from the beating that he took from Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney could give you work. So is Devin Haney worth fighting? No belt, not in a weight class, and he's a poor draw. This is bad decision making from a business perspective. Oh, hey, Ariel Helwani, guess what? Yeah, belts are cool, legacy, blah, 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 but I'll fight in whatever weight class I want. I don't have a belt and I don't sell. So why would a high-end prize fighter, a guy with something on the line who can make weight and operate within a space that allows him the best opportunities, fight Devin Haney right now? He doesn't have a belt, and you're not going to make a bunch of bread. The other side of this is this. You might think Devin's sweet, take the fight and get cooked, and then he makes a name off you. That's possible, but not likely. Devin has been inconsistent. I'm fighting Ryan, I'm not fighting Ryan. I'm going to sue even, and let me get into that. You want to sue, why? How? How are you going to sue? You already were rewarded your O, no loss on your record. The New York State Athletic Commission, in agreement with Ryan Garcia, already stated what the punishment is going to be. Everyone agreed to terms and fines. And there's a liability perspective within that. If the New York State Athletic Commission says we cannot prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that Ryan Garcia intentionally ingested performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, how are you going to be able to do that when the NSAC would be a key witness in the findings for this particular potential civil trial? They're saying we don't have enough information to comfortably state that we know that he cheated, so we're going this route. But you think you're going to litigate civilly and have success when all of these decisions have been made, and I already talked about the pre-fight negotiations. Comes in overweight, you accepted that. And stated, I'm a true champion, weight doesn't matter. Then lost and said, oh, the weight advantage was too much for me, which was just after the Ossuring reading. You can have Ossuring. You can have that. I will offer no argument on this channel. But you move forward in a fight with a fighter who demonstrated for 6 to 8 weeks that he lacked discipline and professionalism. And you paid for it dearly, and a price that you can never get back. That's facts. Pursuing litigation at this point just makes you look less than great, Devin. I watched a video today. It was the Mayweather video from the 1996, I believe, Olympics in Atlanta. And it was an interview that they provide to him when he comes off a decision loss. And he's very upset, and he cries tears. He's got his family with him, and he leaves. And what he does is he makes sure he never loses again. We don't need to hear, in this different day and age, right? No social media, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, whatever the case may be. I totally understand that. If you look for a modern day example, I think that Terrence Bud Crawford beat Errol in a way that gives me questions about Errol's overall viability moving forward, despite the fact that Errol is one of my favorite fighters. The beating from Bud Crawford was cool. Errol Spence got on a mic and said he was better. He beat me. I conceded some things in negotiation, but I wanted an opportunity to be undisputed. Bud had the last belt. I had the other three. Bud was a better man that evening. And then he went off to vacation with his family. And now him and Derek James are battling in court. But my larger point is this. He lost. He was heavily criticized on the internet. Cats made excuses for him. But we're not talking about his loss a month after it happened, because you refuse to live in a space of reality, and that's indicative by the decisions that you're making, or the statements really that you're making as far as suing, even though you're partially responsible for your own downfall by sticking with a bout when you had recourse. And the New York State Athletic Commission coming to terms or agreement with Ryan Garcia puts him in an absolvement point. Your litigation is not going to take this to a whole new level. That's not happening. Additionally, you want to fight at made-up weight classes that you want with zero leverage. You're not a draw. You don't have a belt. So I just want to see how this plays out. This is your boy JG. This has been the Punch Report. Let me know your thoughts. This video ran a little bit longer than I typically do, but my man Devin is out here. All right, we out.